Back to school completely changed my life on Amazon a few years ago when I sold over $100,000 in just 2 weeks during my first back to school. SellerAmp Nation, in this video, we're going to share with you guys a full back to school 101 beginner's guide to have everything you need to know to make sure you're as prepared as possible to maximize your back to school sales and profits. We're going to talk about what back to school is, what products sell best, how to find products, and how to analyze products you can maximize your success. Let's get right into the back to school guide. To get started, here's some back to school frequently asked questions. So when does back to school actually start? So you'll start to see listings really pick up in demand at the end of June, specifically early July though through mid-September is when back to school is best, especially getting into like the middle of August. The best days are August 5th to the 20th. However, a lot of fall sporting goods stuff will also pop off late August and early September, like football gear, soccer gear, volleyball gear, etc. It's also really important to check if your state has a sales tax holiday. That's basically a time of the year when states will remove sales tax to basically give back to their, I guess, people that live in that state specifically. So make sure you look up on Google and see if your state has a sales tax holiday. Another question that's super common for back to school is what items actually sell best. Basically everything parents buy their kids, right? School supplies, calculators, crayons, shoes, clothing, backpacks, etc., right? All that stuff's going to see an increase in demand during back to school. And the cool thing is using SellerAmp, you can take a look at these sellers that are carrying these listings and storefront stock off them to find other listings you might think would do well as well. And the cool thing is using SellerAmp, you can take a look inside the storefronts of sellers that are carrying backpacks and sellers carrying crayons, etc., and go ahead and actually take a page out of their book and look at what they're selling and find stuff you might not have thought of that will do well for back to school that you can see based on the data is that you might not have thought of. Best ways to execute back to school is definitely going to be sending in FBA inventory as the market tells you to, aka as items become profitable, then really hammer the replenishables via merchant fulfilled for maximum profit and least risk. The problem with doing only FBA during a seasonal opportunity like back to school is that you don't really have time for the products to wait 1 to 3 weeks to get restocked FBA, when especially as the demand's spiking up, typically the competition's really going down and the price is going up, which makes listings merchant fulfilled friendly. Even though that can be extra effort, it's totally extra profit as well. Supplies to have for FBM, totally wouldn't overthink this, guys, but 9x12 poly mailers from Amazon, the gray ones, as well as 12x10x8 box range from Walmart/Uline are really helpful for merchant fulfilling stuff. And then finding leads best is definitely going to be storefront stocking to start, just using the reverse sourcing feature on SellerAmp, then eventually manual sourcing your favorite suppliers and retail arbitrage as well. And if you guys have any questions about any of the stuff, please let us know down below in the comments as well. Another really important thing to know for back to school is how to actually calculate FBM numbers within SellerAmp and the different advantages of FBM for certain products. A listing like this, we can see this backpack is a 76K rank right here. And then a really important thing you need to know is how to see the weight on SellerAmp, because that's how you're going to estimate FBM shipping costs right here. We can see this weighs like 1.2 pounds. It might even weigh under 1 pound when it's shipped in a poly bag specifically. However, it's really, really important to note when you look at the baseline calculator on SellerAmp, it's calculating FBA numbers. If you go ahead and scroll down here, you can go ahead and toggle this to FBM numbers specifically, where and say, this goes up to like 45 during back to school and we could pick it up for 20, right? FBM, that's going to ship for about $9-10, maybe $8, depending. We can see that's about a 46% ROI, but FBA right here, we can see that goes a lot lower. And that's because listings that are fairly light around like 1 pound, not in like the 2 to 3 pound range, that are above $25 tend to FBM really, really nice. And it's really important to be utilizing that calculator within SellerAmp correctly so that you don't get caught, looking for FBA numbers and trying to factor in FBM shipping costs here, which makes none of the numbers work. Then you end up spinning your wheels. You have to make sure you're factoring to the FBM numbers to make sure that stuff actually makes sense merchant fulfilled. And a lot of these more expensive but lighter products can do really well merchant fulfilled, especially when the market's telling you to, which we can see in this case that it totally is, being that half the sellers in a listing are merchant fulfilled. It's a really good idea if you're not fully sure how to tell if a listing's FBM friendly. Look if there's other FBM sellers on it and test it for 48 hours and see if you can get any buy box share. 0-day handling time is really, really helpful for merchant fulfilled as well. Another really important thing to note for back to school is how demand can change throughout the year. We can see this specific item here is about a 700K sales rank, which is really, really high. Even though it's top 1% of the category, it doesn't sell well. However, scrolling down here, we can take a look at the chart. If we go to the year long, we can see that look at what happened to the demand during back to school. The rank on this went from like literally 1,000,001 down to like 100K, 80K and such. And we can see that made the price start performing better too. As we can see, it started buy boxing at like 62 and such. Right? So we can see makes sense. People don't buy backpacks a lot in October and November. Sales rank went up. However, we can see in January and February, as the college semester was starting, the demand picked up once again. So it's really important to look at how the sales rank can change throughout the year and understand that something might not be good today, but when consumer demand picks up for that type of product, it can totally become good. And with that change in demand can also come massive price spikes as well. If we take a look at these shin guards right here and go to the year long, we can see, look at what happened to this during like August right here. We can see it was going for like 19 bucks, and then completely shot up right there up to like a buy box of 29 in September right there. And that's why it's really important to be flexible and be comfortable merchant fulfilling products, because you can take advantage of some of these types of temporary markets here from time to time that are totally going to happen. And another thing you can also do is, as listings are going up in price, you can utilize the buy box feature on SellerAmp to see who's selling at the most expensive prices by filtering the data over time, then going ahead and average price and looking at who's selling these items at the most expensive price. Then you can click to open up these sellers and storefront stock them to find what other listings they have as well. So not only do you need to be hip to how demand can change, price can also change. And when the price goes up on something, you can go ahead and storefront stock those sellers, because those are the smart sellers that are taking advantage of selling this stuff at the most expensive prices. Another really important thing you need to be doing for back to school is actually utilizing the SellerAmp Google Sheets feature to track leads correctly. If we take a look at this product over here on Finish Line, we can see it's currently going for 60 bucks on the Finish Line website. We can get about another 10% off on that specific item right here too. So it's going to end up being like, 55, 56 right here, which is definitely not profitable, about $2 profit a piece, 4% ROI. However, if we go ahead and scroll down here to the Keep It chart, we can see last back to school, this listing was, 115 and 100 right there for several days right there. We can see it even jumped up a little bit more specifically right there. And we can see, so this listing absolutely spiked up, went to like 105, 100 and such, which makes this nice and profitable. However, most sellers, when they're doing product research like this, they'll find something that's close, or they'll find something that's historically good, and then they'll just scroll past it and never take advantage of the lifetime value of that lead, even though we're taking a ton of time to do this product research. What you need to do instead is go down here and set up your SellerAmp Google Sheets. We have a tutorial on our channel to help you do that. And all I do is one click export this out to a SellerAmp spreadsheet. Then I can pull the link right here and say, as this data populates on the spreadsheet here, and say buy cost 55 after Capital One shopping coupon. One shopping coupon went to 105 plus last back to school. And you want to check all sizes as well and go through this process and such here. But this is the kind of thing where this isn't profitable today, but it's been profitable historically. And there's tons of examples of that. Like some of those backpacks we talked about are very similar types of items. You can go ahead and look them up. And they're good opportunities to storefront stock off of for other back to school types of products right here as well. It's really important to be utilizing these SellerAmp Google Sheets features so you can maximize the lifetime value of your leads as well. Thanks for watching this video, guys. It's really important you let us know any questions down below in the comments. We love helping you guys out. Biggest things for back to school is understanding the power of merchant fulfilled and seeing patterns, taking a look inside the storefronts of other sellers, horizontally scaling via the same websites and such too that you're finding winners from, taking advantage of those sales tax holidays, being comfortable with FBM, having your supplies ready, stuff like that, and just being ready to be nimble. And understand that as a new seller, your advantage is in the speed, the flexibility, the nimbleness, and seeing patterns and taking advantage and really going hard on certain opportunities once you have proof of concept that hopefully you can get pretty easily during FBM this back to school season. So make sure, if you haven't already, you get a free trial on our website, selleramp.com. You can check out some of the other videos on our channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.